All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Houston Texans. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
Okay, partner, a couple points of interest right here, all right? Offensively, we see that they came out throwing the football, but maybe more importantly, the blitz that came defensively, they got right after it.
And you were telling me pregame before we came on air, you think this is something we could see a lot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because this is a unit that wants to play the game on their terms.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Buying time to his left. All in all, no gain on the play, and it'll bring up 3rd.
And while he did a good job of sliding around in the pocket, there was nowhere to go with the football, so he had to take off and try and run. He just got back to the line of scrimmage, no gain.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Going for the deep ball. And that is caught one-handed. Oh, my, he pulled it in. A big play for the Vikings on 3rd down. 41 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Cousins on 1st down. Open here, Adam Thielen. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A good pickup there, a 22. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, saying, hey, you know, how you guys didn't come out of the gate? I know I offered my help with a few plays. And
he'll be hit and taken down at the 21. J.J. Watt in there to get him for a loss of 5. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
Now a 2nd down throw for Cousins. He shakes it off. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game. I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Throwing his Cousins. And a pressure gets to him again. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him yet again, and he must be shell-shocked back there. That's now back back-to-back sacks, and it's 4th down. Daniel Carlson now for the Viking field goal. From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. Carlson able to put this one through. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Play action from Miller. Now Watson. And his first look is incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. That'll bring up 2nd down.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
It's really come into vogue to talk about the different gaps that the defense tries to attack in an offensive line. And most of the time we're talking about blitzes. How many times have you heard double A-gap blitz? Well, where is the A-gap? It's the space between the center and the guards, either side. So when you're having a double A-gap blitz, that's 2 guys coming through that gap. In this situation, though, that A-gap wasn't open for the defense to exploit. The offensive line took care of it, protected it, and moved the defensive guys out of the way to allow for that nice run.
Come back.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. Dumps it complete to Miller. A big play there on the catch and run. 48 yards.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
The Texans with the first opportunity now from the red zone. This is 1st and goal from about the 8.
Down. Black 22. Black 22.
They'll run it here. This is Deontay Foreman. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Now from the 9, here's 2nd and goal. Now it's Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I think they're ahead of schedule now after that run. They might be bold with this second down call after that type of a gain.
Cousins now on second down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
Well, partner, I guess that answers the question about whether they're going to sit on it or not.
It does. Now we'll see if they try that again.
Yeah, I think what we find on plays like that, when you take that shot, if you're unsuccessful, then you go way more conservative to finish the half, you know? I think that's the way they'll go.
To throw is Cousins. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. The Vikings send out their punter, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And now out comes Houston. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah. Will they make up for it? They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. And down he'll go at the 25. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker.
Come back, come back.
From the gun, here's Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. His first catch, good for 9 in the first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
The Texans were penalized 124 times last year, third most in the NFL, and now they come up first and 15. Out of the gun, Watson. And he'll find QT on the right side, complete. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. To the air yet again, Watson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And the return this time will go to the 42-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Following the interception, Cousins. He's going to look deep down the field. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Really strong, effective run there out of a power set or a heavy set. 3 tight ends in the game, and that's tough for a defensive coordinator. They want to spot that lineup coming into the game early so they can get the proper defensive personnel on the field. That's why the coordinator is relying on some of the assistants to tell him what offensive personnel is hitting the field so he can adjust accordingly. They weren't able to stop him on that run.
12 yards on back-to-back plays there, and that's another first down.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
First down. Here's Cousins. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is second and long. A give. This is Cook. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a third and long situation coming up. The Vikings on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 19. From the gun, here's Cousins. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And now out comes Houston. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for second down. Faking the give. Now Watson. Throw left side, complete to QT. A really good pickup of 28 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On first down, Watson. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, down man open, it's Fuller for the Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Texans are an extra point away from taking the lead. Forbath able to convert the extra point, and they take the lead here at 7-6. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 12 more yards there and another first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Cousins to throw it. Flushed out right. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
A first down carry now for Miller. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Tackle made that time by Anthony Barr.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Back to throw, Watson. And this is caught at the 8. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
Richmond.
They'll try and run for it with Miller. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him 3 on the game there. 2nd and goal.
It is definitely hard to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that'll make it 3rd and goal. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
Two jet.
Now Watson on 3rd and goal. Flush to his right. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. And Forbath will put this one through, and they bump the lead up to 4 now at 10-6. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens, because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Cousins now 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. Final play of the half, Cousins. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target. And it's 2nd down. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports halftime report. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that, because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies, try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. 2nd half begins with a run from Miller. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge.
Blue 80! Come back!
They keep it with Miller on first down. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays, have them on the move on first down.
Come back!
Now a play fake here on first down. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Watson. On the right side, this is Miller. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Hopkins. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, they're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
Watson now 12 of 15 throwing the ball, 80% so far, and it's 1st and 10. Watson hands this to Foreman, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13.
Reset.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Miller. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. Rolling to his right. His throw caught at about the 5. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Down. Black 22. Black 22. Black 99 Philly. Richmond.
Watson from the gun, he'll throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off down near the 5. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I've got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up around here.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. J.J. Watt in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Working out of the gun, Cousins escaping the pressure right. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on 2nd down.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 8. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Kayvon Webster. And a big return will get him all the way down to the 35. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance. He's helping his team in a huge way.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Come back, come back.
After the interception, here's Watson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 12. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Handoff comes to Cook. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
To throw, Cousins. Caught left side, Williams. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. Back now in Houston. It's the Texans in control of the football and leading this game as well as we start the 4th. Watson going to give this one to Miller. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
Watson now to throw. Underneath for Miller. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the 1st down. Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
10th carry now for Lamar Miller. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Open man is QT complete, and he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6.
Down. Black 22. Black 22.
From the gun, here's Watson. And he's going to be grabbed and pulled down. Linval Joseph. In there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. Made his first, this now from 46 yards away. And Forbath will put this one through, and that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
And now out comes Minnesota. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
And now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? And not a whole lot doing there, as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off here by Aaron Colvin. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing. But I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind that it is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans turn that interception into a touchdown. Forbath, the extra point, and the lead now up to 14. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. On 3rd down, Cousins looking deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 35. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And the Texans say they have it. They do. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the challenge comes in inside of 2 minutes, and it gets overturned.
And it changes the whole format of what's about to happen because both sides had thought a certain call had been made. Now they have to flip back.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. As his guys are in for 6. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Important extra point up and through. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Carlson now to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. And this is going to put them back with not great field position.
So they really got zero benefit at all, right? Sometimes you can absorb a penalty when you get a big return. Then the penalty brings it back, but you still have great field position. As you pointed out, not in this case.
Here's a give to Miller. And he'll get across the 20, but only to about the 22-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. On second down, here's Miller. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
The Texans on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. Now Watson. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. This home crowd, they're happy with that call.
I like the way you said happy there, right? The so-called good guys didn't get a call. They feel like it's been that way all afternoon. You feeling their pain?
They finally got one.
Yes, they did.
Come back, come back.
Now a handoff to Miller. And down inside the 15 he goes. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Hey, black 22! Black 22!
Down to a knee here as the Texans look to let the clock roll. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Texans, They're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.